off air. Moz, it still says off air to me.
It should be live. I'm live.
Okay. Hi, this is the Liberals Radio with Bridget and Moz. We're a brand new radio show coming to you from the Resistance. My name is Bridget. I'm a freelance writer who has always been interested in politics, always seemed to be that person that people turn to, wondering what is going on with this bill or that bill, what is going on with the state legislature, why is the president doing this and that. And in this recent election, the 2016 election, it seemed to be taken up quite a few notches. So I have kind of become an educational activist, pushed into that role. And I found Moz, my cohort here.
Hi, Bridget. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. I found Moz during the election cycle, and we decided, with what's going on, it's good that we start educating people about their options, about what to do to help out in the resistance, in pushing the liberal agenda back into the mainstream for everyone. So that's me. And who are you, Moz?
Bridget, I think we're both very, very passionate activists. My name is
Yes.
Moz. I love politics more than anything. I'm an entrepreneur during the day, and I'm a political junkie at night. So my main goal is to take all my knowledge and all my free time and use it for this resistance. And since the 2016 elections, I think every single one of us has been active in our own ways to try to make a stand in the public eye in some way, whether it's talking to neighbors, whether it's not talking to certain people, as we all know that were caused by this election, but just trying to be one together to find ways and solutions to fight against this disgrace of an election and get our America back. And that's what my first passion is this country. I love this country. I have always been fond of its politics, regardless of what it was. But I think that we both agree that it has never been to this extent that we are ashamed of
Never.
having someone in the White House.
Indeed. And we kind of in our many conversations with each other over this election cycle, especially after November 8th, liberals took a hit. And we decided, it takes a village to resist. And so we have to rally our village and let people know that there is so much to do every single day. And
Oh, absolutely. Every single day,
every single day, there's something
everything
to do.
counts. Everything counts. Bridget, many people think that, oh, the election is over and we're done and we're
Mm-hmm.
just going to have to suck it in and get over these 4 years. No. You can be a part of this resistance every single day. That is why we made this podcast. Because
Mm-hmm.
Bridget and I want every single person here to get all the information that they can to know in what areas, what locations, and what elections they can vote in to help get our country back to what it was. So every day counts.
Every day counts. We have about 547, I think 548 or so days until the midterms. And there are many elections that we'll talk about that are happening before the midterms happen. And every single office counts. And I hope everyone understands that every single office, from the school board all the way up to Senate seats, every single office counts, not just the Oval Office, every single one. And you have to fight for every single one.
And that's exactly what
But
we need to, Bridget. I think who's better than you than to sit and explain to them what actually the midterms are? A lot of people don't understand how important the midterms are.
the midterms are imperative. And before we get to the midterms, you and I were just talking before we came on air about the news that we just got about an hour ago that Macron won.
Viva la
The
France.
French,
Absolutely.
yes,
Viva la
the,
France.
the French election, by it's projected right now. I don't think these are solid numbers, but it's projected
65 to 34.
65 to 34 now.
65 to 34. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a landslide. He
He
pretty much
basically
kicked butt.
he kicked their ass, definitely, definitely. Um, and
They even had a hack, a very familiar um,
and this was on Friday,
maneuver.
2 days prior to the election. But see,
I'm
Bridget,
guessing that the hackers didn't know that there's a media blackout, a 48-hour media blackout by uh, the French media. So they can't discuss anything that has to do with the election for 48 hours previous to people going to vote.
see, Bridget, the European media deals with things differently than an American media. I was raised in Germany, and the way that the European people function with elections and all these different things, they're very conservative when it comes to the voting for the right person. And I'm not talking about conservative as in a Republican way. They're
Mm-hmm.
very passionate about their country. They do not, get manipulated by fake news, by gossip, by all this bull that we had over here, by different countries interfering with our elections. They're straightforward people. And I think America was a lesson for many of the other countries. Brexit
Mm-hmm.
definitely was a huge lesson, and I think a lot of that is going to come out in the near future. But France got to the point, and they realized, you know, the interference of a foreign country was getting involved again, and they put a
Mm-hmm.
stop to it. This is something we should have done a long time ago with ours. But what we did
Right.
is Facebook and social media, Instagram and Twitter, we were all showing all these different fake news and sharing it. And what happened was everybody started believing it. You can't do that with Europeans. Europeans are more structured than we are. And that's why they won. That's why they didn't lose their country like we did right now.
They
So,
seem to be more skeptical, just as they seem to be more skeptical of sensationalistic news or
oh,
sensationalistic, so-called information or propaganda that is in the guise of news. They
oh,
don't
absolutely.
automatically believe the worst possible thing about a candidate that they don't necessarily agree with,
Oh, definitely. Because
which can't be said in America.
no, they can't. And you must also understand one thing: the level of education in Europe is much higher than America. So the,
Hmm.
the level of graduation, the level of college, the level of careers is much higher than compared to the United States. Although it's, comparing this in politics, although European countries, most of them are socialist countries, they have a more higher level of education than we do over here as a capitalist country in the United States,
Hmm.
as big as we are. So it's very difficult trying to get through to them with manipulation tactics because they're very smart. They think about it, then they choose. What we do is we go by the word of ear. Oh, Hillary Clinton's emails. But Hillary Clinton's emails. But her emails. So this is
Right.
still going on and on and on. So they didn't want
I
this.
mean, we could talk about those emails forever
Yeah.
because, I mean, if someone brings them up to me, I'm like, well, which of the transcripts of the hearings did you read? And of course, they read no transcripts of the hearings for the emails, but you would talk to a European person. I have some French family members, and they sit down and they do their research. They really do, and I've been schooled by some of their politicians. Well, they think this and they think this and they think this, and I know this because I've gone to their website. I've really researched them. I didn't agree with them before. I look at their website now. I can see that I do agree with them on some things. I mean, they seem to put a lot of thought into it. Although the one thing I did read today, this morning, right when it came out that Macron won, is that this is the lowest voter turnout in decades. So there is some skepticism, even though the people that turned out definitely turned out for Macron and turned out, they rejected this weird divisivism, nationalism, uh, anti-refugee uh, thing that she had going on, that Le Pen had going on.
Yeah, the far
Same
right.
as as
Absolutely.
Trump.
Absolutely. But people weren't ready for that. Although, as we recall back in World War II, that's where it all started, the alt-right. So we were much more far behind over here in the United States as they were in
Hmm.
Europe. As you can see, they're celebrating and we're mourning. We are still mourning.
Mourning and exhausted, and we're only
Exhausted.
over a little bit over 100 days in, and
We're
we're like,
exhausted. It feels like 100 years. Honestly, it feels like 100 years. It's 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 exhausting, and that's why this. And let me also remind you this, Bridget, and also for the our followers. Today's win in France was very important for the rest of Europe. It is crucial that Europe stays as one. Does not remove the sanctions from Russia. It was such a crucial move today to make sure that he wins, because the next one is Germany in September. With
right.
Merkel reelected again, with Macron winning his election, with Netherlands winning theirs, Putin's plot just broke down. Huge plot. So
Hmm.
this is a win for the world. It's not just a win for Europe. It's a win for all of us. And with President Obama endorsing him last minute, I think that was just brilliant. That was a brilliant message to the Dems. It was a brilliant message to all the people in Europe. It was kind of a fresh breath of air just to let us know that justice does still exist.
Well, expect a tweet on that, okay? Just kidding.
He already tweeted. He already
He did.
actually, to be honest with you, he did not tweet about President Obama's endorsement to Emmanuel Macron. But we got a tweet today that all of a sudden he's congratulating Emmanuel Macron on his win. But let's just remind the people that Le Pen was one of the first people to be cited at the Trump Towers months ago.
Uh,
So
right after the election, right after
right
our
after the
election, right?
election. That's right. The first person that was sitting down there in the cafeteria having coffees the whole time was Le Pen. So this today was a huge victory, I think, for this whole resistance.
There was
Um,
also that very mysterious painting that showed up last year of Putin, Trump, and Le Pen. And I don't know who commissioned it, and I don't know who painted it. Showed up last summer, and I thought, what the hell is going on? Did you see that painting?
I heard about the painting, and for some of the people that haven't seen it, we're going to be posting that on our Facebook page and on our social
Yeah,
media. So you can take a look at that. But today
it
was a
was,
victory.
it's a mysterious painting that just showed up last year out of the blue. Very bizarre. And it also made Trump look a whole lot better than he actually looks, by the way. So, painter.
Today was a good
Okay,
day. Let's
so
just say
it
that.
was a
Today was a
very
good
good
day.
day.
Today was a good
And
day. It was a good start, and we just got to stick, strong together and make sure that same thing goes for Germany. And Bridget, I'm going to mention this once again. This Brexit issue from England, this eventually will come out into the daylight as well, as it already is. There's already being investigations done about uh, the form of it being submitted to the Parliament. There are some missing factors in it. So this too, I highly recommend everyone keeps an eye on. It will also be brought to daylight,
mhm,
which is a very important um,
I agree.
piece of the puzzle here in regards to the interference of foreign countries as Russia.
Agreed. Keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the AHCA,
Oh,
which is a hot topic for us right now in America.
dear God, you're throwing salt on people's wounds.
The House, they failed one bill, couldn't get the votes because of the Freedom Caucus. Apparently, within the Republicans didn't like the first draft, the first bill. So they rejected it. Everybody was on the right pretty upset about it. The liberals, the Dems were pretty stoked on it getting rejected. So they came up with a new one. They slapped on some new amendments onto the AHCA. These amendments were
Something
just,
even better than before.
I mean, they just took a really crappy bill and just made it
Even more
so
shittier.
much fucking worse. Like it passed the House because the GOP has a majority at the moment, but they made pregnancy a pre-existing condition.
Rape.
They made yeah, rape, sexual assault is a pre-existing condition. You can be denied health care because you were raped at some point in your life. You can be denied health care if you were pregnant, if you had a C-section, if you had acne. I mean, if you had cancer, if you had MS, if you have ALS. The list was so long and it was so atrocious. And then they even admitted, a couple of representatives went on to CNN with Wolf Blitzer and admitted to him they didn't even read the bill. They just voted yes.
They just voted yes because at this point, every single damn one of them is choosing party over country.
Oh, yes.
And this is the biggest mistake that they have made so far is with forward with. They're going to lose all of their seats.
Well, there's at least, I can get to a little bit later, but there's about 20 seats that are now very vulnerable because of that vote
Yeah,
on Thursday.
I agree.
Really vulnerable.
Yeah.
But so the bill went up to the Senate, and people are still very upset about the bill, and I understand that, and you should be really upset about this bill. However, what's going to happen is none of the senators, you don't really see the senators saying, oh, yeah, we're ready to sign this and send it up to the Oval Office. None of them are saying that. They're saying they're going to rewrite the bill. When they're rewriting the bill, I mean, they've heard the outcry from their districts, from their states. If they go with these pre-existing conditions, they're not going to get the votes they need to pass the Senate. If they go with a replacement plan, they're not going to get the votes from the libertarians in the Senate. If they go with shredding Medicaid, they will not get votes from the senators with a higher older population in their states. If they defund Planned Parenthood in the bill, they won't get the moderate Republicans votes. I mean, this is a no-win situation. They had 7 years to fix the problems with
It
the
was in 7
ACA.
years. All they wanted to do was to demolish the name of President Obama from every single damn bill that he created. That was
It's
the whole plan.
true.
It was nothing else. There was nothing else to this. It was not about thinking about the citizens of this country. It was not about thinking about any other issue other than destroying what President Obama's name was on. That was it. And that was Trump's main goal when he first ran. And that was it. He's been doing this for years and years and years. And now he was given that platform. And this is all they care about.
Well,
And
he obviously, and Trump hasn't read the bill either because he's going on, but I don't
I
know,
don't even think he
pre-existing
can read.
conditions.
I don't
Well,
even know he can read.
well, he's reading off those teleprompters pretty slowly lately.
Yeah.
Um,
Dementia's kicking in.
but it's that's
But Bridget,
plenty of people agree with you on
here's
that,
my
myself
question.
included.
Here's my question. If this bill that President Obama created, if this health plan was so bad, why did they decide to keep it for themselves yet take it away and dismantle it from the people?
That's in this new AHCA too. They have grandfathered themselves, Congress members, and their staff into this AHCA bill,
But
but
it
they've
sucks
taken
though,
it
right?
away from Americans. It
But
sucks so
it
bad that we're going to
sucks.
keep it for ourselves, but we're going to take it away from all of you.
Exactly.
So that means their
Exactly.
staff member gets pregnant, she's covered. She gets it. If they have staff members who've had C-sections, they're totally covered. They have staff members who get cancer. Don't worry about it. You're covered. It's fine. But not for anyone who isn't in Congress or a member of their staff. It's ridiculous. And the Senate is rewriting this bill. They have to try to somehow get their enough votes for them to pass it in the Senate. Then they have to kick it back to the House, and the House will not approve of a bill that's going that they have to. They're hell bent on defunding Planned Parenthood, but the Senate
Even
senators, they
if
don't have the
this
votes in the Senate for
is what
that.
people should know. Even if Planned Parenthood is defunded, the people of this country will not turn their backs on Planned Parenthood. I'm sure that with private funding, Planned Parenthood would still be what it is.
I don't even want to go there. I want Congress to continue to fund Planned Parenthood because they provide so many services
And benefits
that are
for
needed for
yeah.
women and men, that are needed for people who are low or no income, who can't afford to go anywhere
But
else.
unfortunately, that's what some people don't understand. The first thing that comes to the conservative Christians' vocabulary when they hear Planned Parenthood is, "Oh my God, abortions."
Right.
They do not
So there
understand
is no
all the
money.
benefits.
There's zero money from taxpayer money that goes to Planned Parenthood. None of those dollars are ever used to pay for an abortion.
Not
None
many
of
of them
them.
understand that, though.
The only monies that go to pay for abortions, the only money is allocated over to, and because that's only 3% of what they do. The 97%, they do pap smears, they do cancer screenings, they
Mammograms,
do so mammograms, they do so many things. But 3% of what they do is abortions. That's from people who donate to Planned Parenthood. There's people who donate directly to Planned Parenthood, and Planned Parenthood, they use that money from private citizens. They do not use any taxpayer money that comes through Congress. They never have, they never will. It's just not an issue. But there's conservatives in Congress who continue to lie and to say that's the case, and it's not the case.
of course, and that's why it comes to we go back to the topic of researching. People
Right.
research everything, even even if it's written on black and white, on papers, in media, on magazines. Research it.
I mean, talking about research, this guy from Idaho's first district, Raul Labrador, this guy says last week at his town hall, nobody dies because they don't have access to health care. What is he smoking? Because it's fucking good shit, you
It's
know?
I want to know where they come up with all these lies. I want to know how they can look into the eyes of these people and tell them such bullshit. Is this what you went to school for? Is this what you wanted to become in life? A
Right.
liar? Is this your public service to the country?
Well, it took me all of 2 minutes to research and find the American Journal of Public Health study out of Harvard that stated 45,000 people die a year linked to lack of health insurance. So 45,000 people are dying a year who don't have access to health care. And that being uninsured results in a 40% increase in your risk of death. So Raul Labrador, I mean, he's a Congress member. 2 minutes, buddy. 2 minutes, you could have just researched this. And
Yeah.
then said, you know what, 45,000 people a year are dying from lack of health care. I have to make sure my constituents are going to get health care.
I guess it's the new trend that, alternative facts is just spreading around. It's spreading around like a virus. That's what the Republican Party is thriving off of right now is alternative facts. Anything and everything they can come up and say to the poor, uneducated class of this country and have them
Right.
believe it. That's the sad
Well,
thing.
and Mo Brooks, Representative Mo Brooks, out of Alabama's 5th district, he said that people who lead good lives don't have pre-existing conditions. Does he understand that marathon runners do get cancer? I mean, pro athletes have had acne. That's a pre-existing condition, you know?
Healthy people,
It's
vegan people, healthy eating vegetarian people have
they get
had
they get
cancer.
sick.
Yes,
Yes, they get
it
sick. They
has
also
nothing
get
to do with
pregnant,
that.
by the way. They
Exactly. They also get pregnant. And what they need to understand is even if you don't get sick, it's your genetics. It's based
right.
on things that you've had in your life. I mean, these things all contribute to a factor in this case. I mean,
But what old Mo is hinting at there is it's a morality issue. If
right.
we don't like how you're leading your life, if we don't consider what you're doing healthy or appropriate, we're not going to give you health care.
You don't deserve it. I
You
miss
don't deserve it.
I miss George W. Bush. I never thought I
I
would
know,
say this.
right?
If I see this guy, I want to give him a big kiss because
um,
listen, I'm gonna give him a big kiss. That's all I'm gonna say. This 100 days was so bad. I'm gonna give him a kiss. That's how bad it was. That our country has come to the point of treating its citizens like slaughtered animals. That a bunch of
it
rich Christians will get to decide on the healthcare and resources of the citizens of a country.
But I don't know if they are Christians because I don't know any.
Well,
I don't know the Christians in my life would not turn someone away from getting appropriate health care, from getting help because they're sick. They wouldn't turn them away. No Christian I know would ever do this.
well, there's a new
It's just a fact of
species.
my life, and maybe I'm blessed in that the Christians that I know are really good, decent people. But okay, let's tackle our next thing before we run out of time. There are some elections coming up.
Yes.
Okay, we
Let's
have,
inform the people on those and get them involved.
yeah, I want to get you guys this information about these different elections coming up because you can actually donate directly to these campaigns, because we are far more interconnected than anyone I think realizes. So if something's happening in Pennsylvania, it does affect Oregon, it does affect Texas. But we have an election out in Philadelphia. The election day is May 16th. It's for a district attorney's office. Larry Krasner is a Democrat running, and his website is Krasner for DA, KRASNERFORDA.com, KrasnerForDA.com. He's a civil rights attorney. He stands for the civil rights of people of color. He stands for the civil rights of LGBT Americans. Stands for the civil rights of women. Go ahead and go over to his website. Check him out. If you like him, please donate some money.
Yes. And
We
right
have to go
now,
grassroots. It's grassroots. It's the way to go.
right. And Bridget, right now, for example, in my situation, I am not donating directly to the DNC. It's because I'm a little bit upset about the direction that it's going towards right now. But what I am doing is donating directly to all of the candidates through the Act Blue. So I'm sure that many other people can do that. They can find,
Act Blue is great. They have those
yeah,
nominee funds because
exactly.
there's so many. They're identifying weak seats in the House, and they will put up nominee funds, like say for Daryl Issa. I think he's California 49th. He's weak right now, and he voted for the AHCA. So Act Blue is putting aside a nominee fund. So if you say I want to get rid of Daryl Issa, you donate to that nominee fund. So whomever the Democrat is in that district will get that money. That Democrat will get that
How
money.
brilliant is that? How
It's
brilliant is
great.
that? So eh, get active, people. Get active and help. $1, $2, $5, whatever that you can do to help these candidates get the seats back. You're helping your country at
It's
this point.
true. It's true. And we have to go grassroots. We can't depend on larger entities to help us at this point. If you believe in someone, throw them some money. You don't have to go through a middleman at this point. Just go straight
Right.
to the nominee. There's another on May 16th, Christine Tree-Epsch. She's running the 32nd district for state senate in Georgia. A lot of people heard about John Ossoff. His election is coming in June. But Christine Tree-Epsch, she's trying to turn the 32nd state senate seat in Georgia blue. You can look at her website at christineforga.com, ChristineForGA.com. She's a family law attorney, and she's very against gerrymandering, which we have to definitely address in another show. But her husband's a high school teacher too. I looked at her website. I liked what she was standing for.
God knows we need more of those for to stand against this awful, awful education system
Uh,
that's planned.
yes, and her husband's a teacher. She'd understand more about. I mean, she would certainly, obviously, just being married to a teacher would have her more qualified than Betsy DeVos. But she's running for the 32nd state senate in
Don't
Georgia.
get me started, Bridget. Don't get me started.
I know. I know. We got so much to talk about. And we have one more in May. May 25th, Rob Quist is running for the at-large House seat in Montana. Rob Quist. He's a bluegrass musician, and I say, why the hell not? Robquist.org, ROBQUIST.org. Go check out his website. All of these elections you can donate to. You don't have to be in Philly or in Georgia or in Montana. You can donate no matter where you are in the United States if you are a citizen over the age of 18.
Yes, and if you didn't get, if you didn't have a chance to write all this down, we're going to be spreading this on our social media site and also on our other Instagram pages with our followers.
Yeah,
So if you could, stop by, it's we're the Liberals podcast. So check out all the information there. We're going to be posting these things on a regular basis. So you can always have that information when you need it. And just click on the links, and it'll take you directly to their donations, and you can help with
right.
whatever you got.
And I want to say to everybody, keep the faith. I know it's exhausting. I know people want to throw up their hands and say, fuck it, they won. It's over. It's
No.
not true. If you don't, if you don't at least fight, then they've already won. And if I believe that time and justice is on our side, and I want everyone to please keep the faith. Please keep moving forward. We will be here for you, giving you information every week. We might even be doing this a couple times a week because there's so much information to get out.
Whatever it takes
So many orgs. Yeah.
to help
So
our
many.
fellow people to get through this time.
Yeah, and I'm actually incredibly optimistic about 2018. I'm optimistic about the elections this year. There's more elections this fall. So if you don't have optimism, you can just come on over here, and I have enough for all of us.
Give me some. Give me some, Bridget.
uh, I'm ready. I'm so fired up. Every time I see a tweet by a certain orange someone, I get
Oh,
fucking fired up again, you know?
Dear God, help us all. Help us all, because one thing I want to tell everybody before we leave this segment is, listen, don't lose the faith, because a lot of people are paying for therapists right now, because because of this orange monster. So
Right.
come to our show. We'll talk. We'll give you information. There is a
We're
better
free
tomorrow.
therapy.
We're free therapy. There's a better tomorrow, and we need to all help each other in this resistance. And without the help of each other, we cannot um, benefit one another as citizens. So the
You
most
know,
important thing is to
it
stay together.
it takes a village to resist. That's our
Exactly.
motto. That's what we live by, and that's what we're doing. We're moving forward.
So stay tuned. Come back for more. Bridget and I will give us all we got to give you the best, latest information about this resistance and how you can help um, just progress with us.
We're gonna do it, guys.
All right. Bridget, you have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
And thank you. I enjoy this.
All right. Thank you. Me too.
Take care, everybody. To our next stop. Bye bye.
Okay.